Welcome to the Stop Overdrinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving working moms come to learn how to stop overdrinking, reduce overwhelm and anxiety, and show up like the players they were meant to be. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik, and let's dig in. Welcome to episode 59, a group coaching call where we address a custody issue, motherhood, and creating pride in ourselves. Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this episode. This episode is a live group coaching call that I just did in my Stop Overdrinking and Start Living group coaching program. And 3 very brave women, thank you so much, all of you, that said I could use this in the podcast, showed up and got coached on some serious topics today, from creating self-confidence within ourselves, some thoughts and feelings around motherhood, especially when we're sending our children off to college, and also some struggles within a custody issue. You guys, the thoughts that we have about the areas in our lives lead to our current results. So if you are somebody that is over drinking, it's because of how you're thinking about the areas in our lives, okay? And this is a really good example of that and of how I coach inside the program. All right, I hope you enjoy. Schedule some time to listen to this one. Go for a long walk. It's really good. Listen all the way to the end. And if you want to be a part of this amazing group of women who are changing their lives and drinking less and doing more, I'm inviting you to join me in the program. The link to request a 20-minute call to see if you're a good fit for the program is in the podcast notes, and I hope to talk to you soon. Enjoy. All right, Amy, you ready? I'm going to promote you to panelist.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So can we just give them a little bit of an overview about your journey and let them know that they're totally normal where they are right now and all that good stuff?
Yeah. And real quick, how does this work? So they can see me and you, and because I don't see anyone else, right?
Yeah. So it's just there's people on the call right now, like the people in the private group only.
Yep.
And they can see us, and then when I'm done with you, I'm going to pull somebody else on and coach them. And
okay, cool.
But right now it just looks like me and you.
Okay, which I'm used to. But basically, I'd been over drinking, and it had just gotten worse and worse and worse. And it was turning into, like, if I had to work the next day, then okay, I could not drink. But it was either I was drinking and drunk, or I was not drinking, and that was it. And I went on this trip with a couple friends for the weekend, and we did it hard, and it was fun, and we had a good time. But at the end of it, my friend said to me, like, whew, like, that was pretty intense. We did a lot of drinking, and I know she was a big drinker, and for her to say that to me, it was just like, oh, that's kind of my every weekend. Like, it was kind of no big deal for me. But so that was the moment and that was Memorial Day weekend. So that was the moment that I realized, I'm like, this is too much. And I guess I'm having trouble controlling it. And that day, because it was Monday, it was Memorial Day, and I had a bottle of wine that day. So, and that was after that really long, intense weekend. And so that's when I decided. So I just kind of started looking online and found your podcast and found all that stuff. And I was scared. I mean, my biggest thing was like, okay, I'm going to try this, and then it's not going to work. And then I'm gonna have to look for another thing. And this is a big investment. And so really a lot of that back and forth of, should I do it? Should I, And once I made the leap to do it, it was, no turning back. And really within the 8 weeks we had those goals set, and I was never a goal setter. It was always like, well, we'll see what kind of comes my way, and I'll take an opportunity if it comes my way, but I'm not going to work towards something that I might fail at. And I didn't realize I did have a big, I was scared of failure. And so anyway, long story short, I met all the goals, and kind of, I mean, I've gone above and beyond my goals, and I'm setting goals that I never thought that I would even want, or even be interested in pursuing. But My biggest goal that I did meet was basically just being healthy, like all together, mind, body, soul, like all of it. And I love immersing myself in personal growth now. Whereas before it was like it was way too scary. I didn't want to know, and I didn't want to learn because then you'd have to feel feelings, and
Right.
I didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
So there's been like some eye-opening things, and I realized why I drank. And what I'm kind of like going with right now, not struggling with, but kind of trying to understand is if you're not drinking to get drunk, if you're not trying to take the edge off, then why do you drink? And that's sort of like kind of where I am now. And so, like Super Bowl Sunday yesterday, I had my 2 planned glasses of wine, and it was just like, why am I doing this? Why am I getting the extra calories? Because it's that doesn't push me towards my goal more. um, so anyway, that's kind of the thing that I'm working on now.
What would, just to give them like a little nugget or like a little piece of advice, like they are 1 month into the program. So now we are doing the 6 month group coaching program. They're 1 month in,
Yep.
and they've had some failures, they've had a lot of successes. What would you tell them is like the number one thing to keep doing at this point?
That the first of all, those failures, like I can't stress it enough that like is actually good. Not that you are putting yourself in a position where you want to fail, but when you do fail, when you do the work the next day of like, because I still fail. There's times where I do overdrink every once in a while, or I'll drink on an unplanned night. But I wake up the next day, I'm not feeling overly guilty. I'm not beating myself up. I'm like, okay, learning experience. Why did I do this?
Mm.
And if you can just immerse yourself and like really lean into those failures and just learn from them, then that's where you will grow the most. So and think of this as like your new life. Like this is not just because you had a failure doesn't mean you're going back to your old life. It's going to be it's done. It's over. It's not that. It's only propelling you more forward. So you just
Yeah.
have to think of it like that.
Yeah, I like to think of like look at it as an opportunity to learn, obviously, but like don't waste that opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, don't, I teach people not to beat themselves up and to be curious and compassionate, right? When you have the failure. And
Yep.
that means like, yes, we don't beat ourselves up, but we also don't want to lose that opportunity to evaluate it, right? Because if we do that, then it is a missed opportunity for growth.
Yep.
Because if we don't evaluate, then it is just like, okay, I had another overdrink. Okay, I had another overeat, right?
Hmm.
We're not beating ourselves up, but you do want to take advantage of that opportunity. So you're like, what was I thinking? What emotion wasn't I willing to feel there? Like what was
Yep.
going on, so that I can make a plan for next time if I'm in that same situation again to
Yep.
have a better path.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we can coach. So what can I help you with today?
Let's
Mhm.
see. That's so long. I don't
You
know.
want help making that decision of like evaluating like what kind of role alcohol plays in your life, or is that, what do you think
No,
right
not yet. I'm not there yet. um,
now?
let's see. I guess so. I guess I would love to just keep it alcohol based because that's what I originally went in for, and I also did it for the overeating as well because I overate my entire life, and I was just talking to my best friend yesterday who actually signed up for the scholars program,
Yeah, yeah.
and she loves it. She's 6 months in, but oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, but telling her that I did find that the overeating stuff for me was like kind of no big deal. It's like a no-brainer for me now. It's my everyday. It's how I live, and every once in a while I will overeat in a situation, but for the most part, my day-to-day life, I'm not overeating, which is great. And so I guess coaching would be the best to stick with alcohol.
Okay.
Um, so I would say just maybe on like when I have that thought about alcohol, because here's the thing. So when I sit down and like talk to somebody about alcohol and I have it like even just this could possibly trigger my want or my desire for having alcohol tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe just still lowering that overall desire.
Mm-hmm. So what happens when you have a planned drink night? Like, tell me what happens when you're planning, you have a drink. How often are you drinking, first of all, so I can understand like your
Yeah.
current habit? Like, what is your current thing right now?
I would say usually it's Friday or Saturday.
Mhm.
And if there, so it's two nights a week. So if I have an event midweek, then I'll skip Friday night having anything. But so usually, let's just say a Wednesday and a Saturday. And for the most part, I normally have two, which is my max.
Okay.
And if I do plan on doing it and I do the work and I sit down and I kind of map out how the night is going to go, like take last Saturday, for example, or, 2 nights ago, um, I went out with a couple friends and my plan was to have two and not to have it consume my mind at all. And that's exactly how it went. We had a great time and it wasn't like, oh, where's the waiter? I need to order
Mhm.
another one before this one finishes. I had
Mhm.
no thoughts about that whatsoever. So
Okay. And so at this point, like, are you thinking about alcohol in between on your days off? Is it occupying your brain much at all at this point?
it's not unless I kind of start talking about it or like sit down with somebody and like start talking about the program or what I did or that sort of thing. It's kind of like, oh, wine. Yeah, okay. So then it kind of just gets in the back of my brain and then it's present. It's not as nagging or constant as it used to be, but it's still present.
Okay. So what happens when you notice that there's a little bit of chatter going on? What do you do?
Um, sometimes I'll do kind of exactly what I'm supposed to do, and I'll just say, nope, nope, that's just not what we do anymore, and move on. Sometimes I'll say, okay, this is I'm having an urge. This is a great moment for growth, so I will feel it, and I'll kind of immerse myself and lean into that feeling, and sometimes I give in.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
and what I do is I say, oh, I'm doing this program for so long. I don't need to have a planned drink. I'll kind of like, I'll talk myself into like, oh, I'm doing so well and I've lost the weight. I don't overdrink anymore. So I'm good. I can do it. And then I'll do it. And, sometimes if I do give in on one of those moments of, like unplanned, then I do tend to overdrink, kind of like a little heavy pour or maybe a third that, just a splash or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think the difference is? Is like what have you identified as the difference between you just being with the urge, just noticing that a little bit of chatter and then giving in? Like what is it there that makes you cross over that line?
Probably my day, okay, what do I have? I kind of like go through my head, all right, what do I have tomorrow? What is going on tomorrow? Can I, you know, and it's how much I've journaled and planned my day. And I just, I don't know. It's like if everything's planned, everything's great and it's
Mhm.
worked out. And even if it doesn't go as planned, it's okay because my end goal is still in sight, and so I'm not I don't veer off. It's fine if something doesn't go as planned, but
Mhm. So are you saying it's like the days when you decide you're just going to go with it and just like give in to your urge, that those are the days you haven't been journaling, you haven't set up a solid plan for other things in your life?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yep.
Okay. So like because you haven't done the journaling, you haven't done the support, the mental support and everything, using all the tools,
Hmm.
your brain is like, ooh, there's a little window here. We didn't do these things, so we don't have to do this either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. So what are you making this mean about you? Like, are you spinning out in this, or you're wishing this wasn't here? Like, what is it why is this a problem for you right now?
um because I don't want to overdrink. I don't, because when I do, it puts me back in that place of where I was.
Mhm.
And I work out every day now, and that's if I'm over drinking, I certainly can't be doing that. Or I'll push myself to go because that's my plan and that's where I want to be. But I don't get the best workout, and so
So it's more about what happens like the next day is
yeah,
the problem, right? So
yeah.
like if you're probably it starts to cycle over again. Are you getting up and journaling, getting to the gym, like
Mhm.
doing all the things?
And I do. I will make myself, yes, come
Uh-huh.
hell or high water, even if I'm
Uh-huh.
up 15 minutes later or an hour later, it doesn't matter. I will get up and do the work, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to have to force myself.
So is it more of like a feeling that you don't like after you do this? What is the big problem? It's just like this fear of you going backwards or what?
Maybe that's it. Yeah, I could see that. Yes. Because
So what
that's when I do journal the next day, that's what I write about is that like just because you've done this does not mean you're going back to your old life. This is, you've had a failure and you can work your way through this. So
Mhm.
maybe that is what I'm nervous about.
Okay. And so when you have that thought, like, I don't want to go back to my old ways,
Mhm.
what does that feel like? Is that fear?
Yeah, fear, a little bit of anxiousness.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then are you taking action on that fear?
I guess maybe a little bit of negative self-talk.
Mm.
Um, and what I find myself doing is skipping the current thought model and just skipping over to my intentional thought model
Mhm.
because it's almost like I don't actually want to know exactly what I'm thinking but I know where I want to be. So I,
Mhm.
I find myself skipping the current and just going right to the intentional.
Okay. So you're not like really seeing in the moment why you're scared.
I guess, yeah.
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 Okay. Anything else? Any eating or drinking the next day or spinning out or anything like that?
No, I'm kind of put myself back on the trajectory and
Okay.
maintain.
Okay. So, I mean, there's real, like, from what I'm seeing, the only thing that you're not doing is seeing that this thought is the thing that's causing you the most pain. So, like, I don't want to go back,
Mm-hmm.
making you feel scared, right?
Yep.
And then from that place, you might spend a little bit too much time thinking about it or projecting where you might go.
Yep.
And because you're so onto yourself, like you're not, like you're getting back into what you want to do. You go to the gym and you stay on track with your food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, you could, if you were to play that model out, you could end up going back, right?
Right.
Because if this was an unconscious thought model or an unintentional thought model that was played out, that thought, I don't want to go back,
Mm-hmm.
would create you going back,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
So just being there in that moment, understanding, seeing that, and just like not letting your being super conscious and just be like, okay, there's that thought again. It doesn't mean anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just
Yep.
like staying with it. And I think you see that.
I do, and it's funny when I look back at journaling from right from the beginning. When I opened up that packet for the first time and filled some stuff out, that was my number one fear, that underlying thing of what if this is not it?
Mhm.
What if this doesn't work?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, so I guess I need to still work on that. That's still
Or you
underlying.
can just notice that that's a thought that you have, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just like that little thought cloud that's just like kind of floating by, right? It's just like,
Uh,
oh, there you are again.
yeah.
Who cares? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, so what? Like, we don't have to, just because we have it doesn't mean that it's going to turn into something, right?
mhm.
You can just notice it and say, okay,
Yep.
it's not true. I'm not going back. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like just say it's okay that it's there, right? Of course it's there. That's your brain trying to keep you safe and comfortable. And you've thought that for many, many years. So I think it's just like acknowledging it and not pushing it away because it's still going to just fester there if you do that. But just like, I see you, I hear you. You don't want to go back, but that's not happening. Clearly, we're on the right
Right.
path, doing the
Right.
work. This is just part of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. How else? What else? Anything else?
Hmm. One thing. So I lost 56 pounds total. It's always 56 or 57, but right there I'm maintaining. And what I did was after I met my goal of where I wanted to be, and then got down even 5 or 6 pounds below that, I
Mhm.
realized I just want my body to be where it's safe, comfortable, and healthy. I don't want to say, and once I'm there, that's the weight that I want to maintain. So
Mhm.
that's where I am. So I get all the time everybody that hasn't seen me is like, oh my God, I can't believe how good you look. And oh my God, you lost so much weight. And you get the people that are like, oh, did you lose like 1,000,000 pounds? And oh, now you're too skinny, and you hear everything. And, but you get all of that constant feedback of you look great, because nobody wants to hear that you're getting a life coach for anything until they see the weight loss and they're like, now I get it. Now I want what you want or what you have.
Yeah.
And so anyway, a fear that I have is that once all of that goes away, because this is my new life, this is how I'm going to look from now on. My fear is stopping, not getting that positive feedback all the time, if that will deter me and even as I'm saying it, I know that it's not, but it's like that is kind of an underlying fear. Like, what about when that all does go away? Because everyone's used to the way that I look now.
Yeah.
So
like, how do you feel when you think that? What if that all goes away? Well, first answer that question. Let's just say that could all go away.
Yep.
And
so
how do you feel when you think that?
It could all go away. I feel a little insecure. I feel a little like kind of annoyed at myself. Like, why would that be so important to you? It's, basically that.
So what is it? Is it insecure or?
Well, I guess if other people's opinions are that important, that's a type of insecurity. So I would say insecure.
Okay. And so what do you do when you feel that way?
Maybe fish for compliments or fish for compliments or maybe talk about weight loss or kind of bring it, because these conversations come up naturally because but yeah, it would be me kind of like, maybe I would try to bring it up so that it can come back to me or come back to my weight.
Okay. So this is just you trying to have outside things make you feel good, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So just like alcohol, just like food, like now maybe you're buffering a little bit with outside compliments.
Yes.
It's unconscious, of course. You're not like, let me go find a compliment that I can get. You're getting this influx and that feels good, right? When somebody says, oh my God, you look amazing, then you think, yeah, I do. And then you feel good, right? It's never what they're saying that's making you feel good. It's your own thoughts about their comments.
Right.
That make you feel good, right? But we don't understand that in the moment, right? Like you're just getting these little dopamine hits as people are commenting, right? And it feels good. And so your brain is now seeking more of that, this external validation, something outside of you that makes you feel good, just like alcohol or food. So you have this thought like that could all go away.
Right.
Like a little bit scared or insecure. And then your actions from there, like you might try to seek it out more. So what do you think is a result that could happen from that thought?
Is that if it does go away, then looking at it as like a negative thing that I need that constant encouragement.
Yeah. So it's like the result could be like I go away, meaning like I don't make myself feel better or feel I'm not really taking responsibility for my own feelings, right? So it's like you lose that connection with yourself.
Yeah. That insecurity kind of comes.
Yeah, it's just like you, instead of you making yourself feel good, you are relying on something else outside of you. That's your result. Right?
Yep.
So you lose that connection with yourself.
Yeah.
So do you want to keep thinking that?
Nope.
What do you want to think instead? Like when the circumstances you are receiving compliments, right? People are saying things to you. Instead of thinking it could all go away, what could you think instead?
Like, it's like, I agree with you. Thank you. I've worked really hard. I'm proud of myself. I appreciate your, I appreciate what you've said,
Yeah. And when you turn that back on you, like, yeah, I did that work, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of me. How does that feel?
It feels fantastic. And I would say, what's the opposite of insecure, which is secure, but what's another word for that?
Confident or
Confident.
proud.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so you know that you can, when the external circumstance changes, people stop saying that.
Yep.
Right? Then you know that you can have your own thought, like, I'm still here. I did this work. I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like when people say negative things to me now, like, oh, you're too skinny. And it really just bounces off of me. Like it's not, I am getting the dopamine hit from people saying, things like, oh, you look good, but it's not affecting me if somebody doesn't say I do look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just how you're thinking about what they're saying, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if you want to kind of like neutralize all the comments, you can do that too. You can just be like, that those are things that they said. I'm in charge of my own feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that they say that. I also know that I don't need that compliment.
Right.
Right. Feel good.
Yeah.
Just play around with that a little bit. Just come up with a couple thoughts there that you want to sort of reprogram with. Be like, oh, what I'm, instead of I'm worried that that's going to go away, or what if that goes away? Just plug in something else there.
Okay.
Like, I am not going away. This is
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that
and
help?
Or that, it's good if the compliments stop coming, because that just means, they're used to me being this way. This is
you now, right?
Yeah. This is me.
Yeah. They don't go away, by the way.
Oh, good.
Right? Because you're like living this vibrant life, and everyone just, oh my gosh, you seem so happy and healthy. Like, it just keeps coming. Like, you're living your best life. Like, I get that all the time. It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. They're going to appreciate it. It's work, right? Like, it's not like this. If you want to maintain what you have, and like with me and what I have now, you have to be able to manage your mind and keep doing the work on a regular basis.
Yep. I know. And I love seeing everybody's comments in that Facebook page, because it's like, oh my God, I was right there. Yes, I was right there. And again, I still have those little moments, but they're so much fewer and far between. And there is that light at the end of the tunnel. And then once you get there, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to put you back to attendees, and you're welcome to stay on and watch the other people get
Cool.
coached.
I will. Yeah. Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Who we got? We've got Catherine. You ready? Hi. Hi. Gotta unmute. You there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you are. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay, cool. That was very exciting. I so enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, it's like having a little celebrity, right?
Yes, somebody who's been there, done that, and came out the other side.
Yes, so cool. All right, so you've got your big date. Is it tomorrow?
Yes, it's tomorrow.
So give them a little bit of context of what you're wanting help with today.
Alrighty. So my grandson has not seen his mother in 3.5 years, and we have a lot of past, and she has asked to see him again. And I set up, he went through a wait list period, and time was getting away, and she was getting antsy, and I was getting nervous. So he finally, his time has come up on the list, and we have an appointment. We start tomorrow, which is to reunify and to do so in the safest possible way. And I feel better about doing that, because it's not all on me. I don't have to. I don't have to fix everything. Mm-hmm. So I saw you posted today about the shame.
Mhm.
I have a lot of shame and embarrassment in this situation, and with this young lady, she's a little famous. She's been on national TV, live PD, and you know, she's been arrested several times, and her photos are in the paper. And you know, we live in a small county where, you know, everybody generally knows everybody, and it's very embarrassing, and I feel embarrassed, and it brings all of that back, having to, you know, re-meet with her. She, you know, looks to me, I've known her since she was 14. She
Mhm.
looks at me like a substitute mother figure, and I just can't. I don't feel the love, and I feel really embarrassed, you know, having to spend a lot of time with her.
Okay. So why do you feel embarrassed? What is the thoughts there?
I feel embarrassed about her lifestyle and the things she does and the way she acts, the way she dresses. um, and it's so petty. And then I feel bad feeling the way I feel.
Don't judge yourself yet. Let's just stay with why you're feeling embarrassed. We can get to that. That's another model, right? But right now you feel embarrassed because you have these thoughts like, she shouldn't dress that way. I don't want to be seen with her, stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't want an association with her. Is that true?
Yeah. Very, yes.
Okay.
And it brings a lot of painful, her coming back into my life brings a lot of pain with it.
Mm-hmm.
Painful memories.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's just stay with the embarrassment thing, because that's the first thing that you brought up, right? You're embarrassed because of her reputation, basically, right?
And her ongoing behavior.
Okay. So what is a thought there that you have on a repeated basis?
My thought that I have on a repeated basis. No, I don't want to. No.
So it's like, no, I don't want to see her. No, I don't want to be seen with her. No, I don't want her reputation.
I don't want to have to go through I don't want to go through the whole. I don't want to do it again. So, but I think I'm getting out of the shame and the embarrassment. Yes, the thought would be,
Was it just she's embarrassing?
yes, when she opens her mouth, she's embarrassing.
Okay. So that's the thought. She's embarrassing, right?
Yes.
And then you feel embarrassed when you think that?
I feel ashamed and embarrassed, yes.
Okay. And what do you do when you feel that way?
I like to avoid things.
Mm.
I like to avoid her. I like to not have to face all of that.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do that's avoiding or not do?
What do I do to avoid? I set it aside. I'd say I put it out of my mind. I set it aside. I don't plan for it. I don't address it in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of try to wing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to get through.
Do you push things off, like things that you would be doing to like reunite your grandson and her, or any of that stuff?
I probably, I overthink and I panic and I think I go to my doom and gloom phase.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't do something, then something terrible is going to happen. Like, going back to court. So,
So you project and create stories about the
yes,
future. Okay.
I project.
And then do you drink or eat when you're in this place?
I don't take good care of myself when I'm in this place. Yes. I get anxiety. I get stressed. I, instead of doing good things for me, I spend my time trying to figure out how to get out of doing and avoiding.
Avoiding like dealing with this issue, right? With reuniting them, or how you guys can be integrated together, or something.
And trying to minimize. I play out the scenarios in my head, how how it's going to go, where I where we're going to be. You know, I try to minimize.
So you spend more time thinking about what it could be like in worst case scenarioing than actually doing anything.
Yes.
Okay.
And I rewatched the video yesterday, and I really got a lot out of that. And then today's journaling is, what do I think about my past? And I got a lot out of that. So I changed the story in my head, changes. So the last time I saw her, yes, she was embarrassing. I haven't seen the girl in 3.5 years either. So I have to stop doing that, and I have to stop spending my time doing that, and I have to start taking my time for me instead of giving it away to everybody and everything that crosses my mind.
Yeah. Do you do anything that you're not proud of when you're in this place of feeling ashamed of her?
Yes, I guess I feel bad. I mean, this is my grandson's mother, regardless of everything else, and I feel bad that I feel that way, and I know I can't play poker. My face just shows it all, and I have to, school myself to. I don't want to put on him any of that. I don't want to.
Well, don't beat yourself up right now. I'm trying to understand what you're doing when you feel this way, right? Because like I teach you guys and show you guys through this coaching is like, she's embarrassing. That's creating a result for you in your life, probably that you're embarrassing yourself somehow, or you aren't doing things that you're proud of, right? Which on the inside could be embarrassing for you. Right. So if you're overeating or over drinking or spinning out or creating these stories or talking to other people about her, like those kind of things, like if you're to reflect back on yourself and your own actions, you would consider like that was embarrassing for me. Right. So are you doing any of that kind of stuff?
I don't think I'm doing, I haven't seen her, so I haven't had to. Mostly what I'm doing is the doom and gloom thinking and causing myself anxiety. I actually had to take some medicine today. I haven't had to do that in a long time. I got that shaky feeling, and
okay. So it's like, it's not, I mean, it's just causing you a big distraction, right? That's
bad feeling, a bad vibration.
Yeah, bad vibration, and it's distracting you. You're spending too much time thinking about it versus focusing on you and your life, right? You're spending a lot of time thinking about what could happen instead of making things happen.
Yes.
You're not, it doesn't sound like you're journaling, doesn't sound like you're doing the things that you want to do in your life when you're in this thought model.
No, I'm not journaling as much. I really need to do that to get through it and to practice your models. I did, about an hour before, this started but, and I guess I'm embarrassed of her and her behavior, and that I have to open the door and to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I don't know what I'm being a part of, because I haven't even seen her in 3.5 years. And, and instead of accepting, what is and just moving forward, I mean, my grandson's going to be very excited to see his mother. And I don't get to take that away from him by being, stressed out. And I mean, obviously he's going to pick up on my feelings.
Yeah.
And, but I am embarrassed by her behavior and her choices.
Mm-hmm. So do you see how that thought though is causing you to spin out and feel this negative vibration, and it's making you not do the things that you want to be doing in your life?
I'm stuck.
That
I'm very stuck.
that thought, when you say I am embarrassed by her and what she's done, like that, you think that's a fact, right?
I think it's a fact that I'm embarrassed about it,
Yeah.
or a fact that she's done them.
Just the fact that you're embarrassed.
I do think that's a fact. I'm embarrassed, and it makes that feeling come over you of, flush and, yes.
But do you see it's just how you're thinking about it though? Like really think about, like, pretend like you are coaching somebody right now, or you're talking to somebody about her and they're telling you, God, I'm so embarrassed. And you're like, can't you see that thought is causing you pain? It's just a sentence that you're saying, you're replaying over and over in your brain that's causing you to feel this way. And it's totally optional. Like you don't have to have that thought anymore.
I don't even have to think about it. I mean, really, it's not my life. It's not my shame. I don't even have to.
Right.
I don't have to think about it. And I need a off switch. I really need an off switch.
Yeah. So what do you want to feel? You said you used to feel love for her, right? When she was younger and she was with your son and all of that, right? And she still loves you, it sounds like.
Yes. And so I have to go back when I talk to her and when I interact with her. I have to go back in my mind to that young girl that she was. And I have to talk to that person, and I have to honor the love that my son had for her. So your children go out and they make their choices, and this was his chosen love, and I try to respect that in dealing with her, the person that she is today and the person that she was.
But what if you could love her as she is right now? Because she's not, this is the sort of arguing with reality concept that I talk about all the time. Right? It's like, you want her to be that person that she was, and she's not. And so this is going to keep causing a conflict for you. And you don't want to pretend that she's somebody that she's not, right?
Right.
How about we just work on accepting who she is, and it's not embarrassing unless you have a thought that she's embarrassing. Because a lot of other people maybe don't think that she's embarrassing, right? Maybe they think she doesn't think that. She's just out there trying to do her best, right?
Well, one would hope so.
Yeah. So I'm sure we could find some people that don't think she's embarrassing.
True.
Like her own son, maybe.
Right. He will definitely not, hopefully, think that she's embarrassing.
Right.
And hopefully she'll show up.
Just as herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think your work here is just accepting who she is now and loving her unconditionally without having any rules or parameters around it. The biggest pain that you have right now is thinking she should be something that she's not. She should dress differently. She shouldn't be doing all those things that you emailed me about, right?
True.
Yeah. And the long as you keep thinking she shouldn't be doing that, you're going to feel that embarrassment.
True. Now, what she does really isn't my business anyway. So,
what she does goes in the C line, the circumstance, right? What she wears goes in the circumstance line. What she says goes in the circumstance line. And then you have a thought about it that causes your feelings. And if you want to feel love with her, which I think you do, like this an unconditional love, because she is your son's love and she is your grandson's mother, right? Like you would you choose, if you chose shame or love, what would you choose?
I would have to choose love.
Yeah.
Because shame will get me nowhere.
Yeah. Because you see like
in the
how,
dark.
yeah, when you are in shame, like it's not serving you in your life, right? That doesn't feel good, first of all.
No, it doesn't feel good, and it keeps you in the dark. It keeps me from
What does
not.
love feel like?
Love feels light. It's a lightness. It just takes away all of the when it's just such an intense feeling in your chest and in your my chest and my it's like it burns sort of. It feels so good it burns. It's like a burning warmth.
So who gets to benefit from that feeling?
Me. I get to benefit from my feeling.
I think a lot of us hold ourselves back from feeling those feelings because we think that they don't deserve it or they haven't earned it, or right, they've done all these things wrong with other people, right? And so we don't want to love them because they're not following our rules, right? But love is a feeling that you get to experience. She can't feel your love, right? So when you feel unconditional love, when you think about her, that only benefits you in your life. And it's not giving her a pass. It's not doing any of that, right? It just, when you feel that vibration in your body, you will tend to do better things for you, right? Because you're not going to want to numb out from love, right? Because that feels good. You don't want to escape that because it feels good. You're going to keep going forward with what you're doing. It's not going to distract you from doing the things in your life that you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's very freeing, actually. It's very freeing. It's regardless of all those things she's done, it's okay. It's okay for me to love her still.
Yes, because you get to feel that, right? So what's a thought that you could have that would feel that sort of like unconditional love for her instead of she's embarrassing?
The one I go back to, so she chose to give him life. She didn't have to. And I try to honor that and to go, that definitely brings me more love than shame. And I've got to fill my head with these thoughts and not the doom and gloom.
Yeah. I love that thought. Amazing, right? You have a grandson because of her.
Yes, and she had to pay a high price in doing that. She was kicked out of her house for choosing to have him instead of not have him.
Yeah. So that's your work. You just got to start noticing that. Notice those thoughts. So when they come in, you don't need to attach yourself to them. Like, oh, here I am in this high vibration, this shame feeling. I know that I can change that by right away. I can think she brought him into this world and I'm going to love her for that no matter what.
Stop feeding that bad feeling. The more I think it, the more I feed it, the bigger it gets.
You're getting a reward when you do that, right? So like if you're in that shame cycle and you're taking action from that and you're overthinking, you're indulging in those stories, right? It's keeping you safe and stuck and not moving forward. That's exactly why we do this. There's a reward system there. So you may eat, you may drink too, and that also just feeds that circle and that cycle of, okay, this is working. We're getting rewarded. We're not moving forward. We're staying safe in the cave, right?
Yes, I did overdrink last night.
Yeah.
I did and I did the whole ladder and very bizarre. I just I guess I had fallen asleep during the Super Bowl, and then I woke up at the end, and it's all about the the food and the celebration, and I was like, I'll just have another glass. This is getting exciting, the last couple of minutes there, the score went haywire.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I had one, I'll have another one. And it does me no service at all to not honor my goal. Our result is, I'm not losing weight. I am not feeling better. And I'm beating myself up, and, to let it go, to journal, and, to accept all of these things in my life, that she gave him life, and she didn't have to. And we're going to open the door. We're going to move forward, and maybe I can experience some of his excitement in meeting her. I know he's a little nervous. You can see, he asks. But I've always been truthful with him to the best of my ability to an 8-year-old, and I will honor, my commitments and my promises to him.
Yeah, I think that if you can love her unconditionally, it'll help you love yourself unconditionally.
Yes, the whole thing about my past, I was journaling today. Whew, I have a lot of work to do.
It's okay. It's a good thing. We're alive. We've got work to do, right?
We do.
All right, my friend, you've got this. Just work on your thoughts on that. Write that thought, reprogram your brain about making it a goal to love her unconditionally. She does her, has no impact on how you feel. You get to choose how you're thinking and feeling when it comes to her. And love is always a good choice, like default. If you get lost or confused, like, I'm just going to choose love and go to that thought.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
All right, Stephanie, you ready? Oops. Hi.
Let's see.
You're unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hold on 1 second. Has asked you to start your video. Okay, whatever. Oh, did I just? Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was just getting emotional over Catherine's call there. That actually, I know the circumstances are different, but it's a lot of what both of you had to say is very apropos to how I'm feeling and everything, and the situation with Nick. So,
So
it was a good.
tell us?
So, so my younger son Nick is a freshman in college, and he failed last semester. Well, he got a D- in one class, but he failed the other 2 classes. We had a big talk with him about it, and told him that if he fails this semester, then he's not going back to college. We're not going to send him back. Thought he was doing better this semester. He went back, gung-ho, and I'm going to do everything and whatnot. I'm going to get tutoring and everything you want, Mom. It's, I'm on this. And when I talked to his coach the other day, he's falling right back into his old habits of, it looks like he's missing class. He's a big excuse maker. He hadn't been able to get some of his assignments because he couldn't log on or something. And it was like 2 weeks into classes, and his coach was like, well, what are you doing about this? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'll talk to the teacher about it. So he missed like 2 weeks of classes, homework assignments for this one class. It's like, I don't know. I'm just so, I felt myself clenching my jaw in that that previous call. I'm just so angry at him that I feel like he's just wasting such a great opportunity, and I'm just so angry at him. And I'm so glad that I have you guys to Facebook and stuff like that, because in the past I would have just like sent him a really scathing text and said, you need to call me now and we need to talk about this, and I would have probably said things that I would regret later.
Mm-hmm.
So I am supposed to talk to him sometime this afternoon about this, and I'm just like sick over it.
Mm-hmm. So is this a prevailing thought that you have? He's wasting a great opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's work on that. Okay.
Okay.
Is that
Okay.
the thought that's causing you to feel angry?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you tend to do when you feel that way? You want to send him an scathing email?
And I want to send him a scathing email, scathing text. I don't know. My first instinct is just always just to like, just get angry and respond in that way automatically.
Mm-hmm. What else
You
do you
know?
do when you feel this way?
I know the other day, when I first got the phone call, I know I can't remember the word that you used. I went to the gym and just used it as a distraction. I distracted myself for a good almost 2 hours by just staying in the gym and listening to music and working out. And because I just didn't want to think about it. I was so mad. And my husband was he was at a work thing, so I couldn't talk to him about it. And I just, went and just distracted myself for a while.
Okay.
But based on what you just said to Catherine too, I realized that when I feel this way, I do stop journaling and stuff too. Like I let it like totally just throw me for a loop in a lot of ways. And I drank too much over the weekend. I totally went off my drink plan this weekend.
Okay. So what kind of result do you think that's creating for you? He's wasting a great opportunity.
The result that it creates for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ashamed of my son.
So this thought creates a result in your life, right? So
Right.
that's just another
So
thought.
shame, I guess shame.
Well, it's like that thought, it's usually our result is created. It's like a mirror of the thought. So you think he's wasting a great opportunity, creates a result for you of you wasting an opportunity to move towards your goals.
Yes.
Right? Because your actions aren't in alignment with what you actually want to be doing. You don't want to overdrink. You don't want to spin out, right?
Right.
You don't want to send him messages like that or yell or
Right.
anything like that, right?
Right. And I know I've been nasty to my husband over the last few days too, just because I'm just so, wound up by it.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
Yeah.
So
that's just creating a result for you. And that thought is affecting your life, not his. Do you see that?
True. Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And it's just causing you to have so much pain and anger, which is a distraction it's just keeping you stuck on that cycle, right? It's just a distraction from you moving forward with what you want to do.
Right.
I know you believe it in your bones that he's wasting a great opportunity, right?
I do. I do. I mean, my parents didn't have money to send me to college. I mean, his girlfriend's parents don't have money to send her to college. And I just feel like he's just completely, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
I know. Those thoughts are really hurting you, though. Do you see that?
They are. They're hurting me, and I'm going to cry. And they make me feel guilty because I feel like this is mine and my husband's fault that he's not taking this opportunity how it's being given to him.
But how is that your fault? How is what he's doing your fault right now? He's an adult, yes?
Yeah. Well,
18?
if 18's an adult, yeah.
Capable of making his own choices right now and decisions?
I feel like it's my fault because I just feel like he's the way he is because I wasn't tough enough on him when he was growing up. I just, he's a big time schmoozer, and I've always believed him when he said he was going to do better. And I really feel like I should have just been a lot tougher on him than I was.
How is that thinking helping you right now, or him?
It's not helping either one of us.
No.
It's not helping either one of us.
Yeah. So you telling yourself that you should have been a different mom just hurts you again. It just keeps you stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
What would you like to think about yourself as a mother to him?
I'd like to think that I was a great mother. I'd like to think that, he was proud of having me as his mom and that I did a good job. Just that I helped prepare him for life and being an adult and being out on his own and everything. I would like to feel more confident in what he can do now.
So how could this experience still help you mother him in the best way that he's going to learn about real life and being an adult?
I think he's going to have to learn the consequences of his actions. I'm just not really sure how I'm supposed to discuss those consequences with him. Like you said to me in Facebook, from like a feeling of love instead of a feeling of frustration and anger. And oh my God, here we go again. Yeah. I want to be able to just say to him, if you don't have, I don't know, let's say B's and C's at this point, at the end of this semester, then, you're done. I can't continue to do this with you, but I know it has to be said in a different way. It's.
Yeah. So you want to clean up your thinking about it, right? So first of all, you've got to acknowledge that you've done everything right as a mother.
Okay.
So why? What is the upside of you saying that you should have done? There's no upside there. You have to stop that. Stop it.
I know. Okay.
Seriously, when you find yourself thinking that again, we don't even need to do thought work on it. Just we don't think that way. That doesn't help. It doesn't help.
I think it's really easy to think that way though, because my husband can be so doom and gloom, and he'll be like, "Oh, we were so bad. My parents were so much better than we were, and we messed them up so much, and our kids are on anti-anxiety and depression medicine because of us." And so it's easy for me to fall into that pattern too.
Yeah, so in that situation, you just be like, he's allowed to think whatever he wants to think. I'm not taking that on. I'm rubber, you're glue.
Right.
Whatever.
I take it so personally though.
I know. But you've just got to be like, he's allowed to think that. But you have to have that belief within yourself that you did the best that you could, right? You raised your son, you gave him opportunities that other people don't have. And you have to own that. You have to believe that to start with.
I have to say, I'm really, really proud of him for going across the country to college. I mean, there's not many 18-year-olds who never even went to summer camp would ever think to go that far away from home. I mean, he's across the country from us, and I'm really proud of him for that. And having that,
What you need to make a list. Part of your work is making a list of 25 things that you did that was amazing. The amazing things you did as a mother. Okay. You need to start filling up your brain with things that you did that were great, and stop filling up your brain with things that you should have done differently.
Okay.
It doesn't help. It just doesn't, right? It just does not help you get through this at all. If you stay focused on things that you should have done differently, you're not going to make the right decisions. You're not going to have those conversations that have weight, right? And come from love. because
Right.
you've got this underlying current going on that you did things differently, or that you should have done things differently, and now you're trying to overcompensate now and be like, put the iron fist down and be like, now we're going to do it the right way, right?
Yeah.
It's just, he's just going to rebel against that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I know that. He's just gonna put up a guard, and
Yeah.
I'll be lucky if I hear from him, between now and the summertime when he's supposed to
Yeah.
come home. So
So that's the first step. Do that later today. 25
Okay.
days. I did amazing as a mother, and believe every single one of them. And you have to do 25.
Okay.
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 And then you need to work on this thought. He's wasting a great opportunity. How is that even true?
I'd say it's true because I know I'm projecting. He's going to fail, and then he's not going to come out with a college education. And it's just not easy out there without a college education. It's hard enough with a college education to get a good job, but without one,
But
and
how
what
is
you,
this where he is a freshman in college? He's got not even 2 semesters in. How is he wasting his whole opportunity right now?
because I feel like we told him we won't send him back to college if he fails. So if he fails this semester, he's not going back to college.
So what happens if you're looking at it like there's only 2 options, right?
Yeah.
Either he gets his shit together and you continue paying and then he goes, and that's the
Right.
opportunity, or he fails and he never goes to college again and his life is over and you guys are wiping your hands of it.
Right.
There's so many other options in between there. He could flunk out this semester, come home, get a job, go to school part-time locally, prove himself again, and then you might be like, okay, you're doing well, we'll support you again. Like, there's so many other avenues here. He could take some online classes. He might just need a break. He may just need to come home. Like, there's so many different avenues that your brain is just looking at. It's very black and white. It's either wasting this opportunity or he's going to graduate and this is going to be his path.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I guess that's where my conversation with him, like, I need to come from the place of love and really try to understand what's going on. And I mean, I've asked him so many times, are you sure you want to be in college? Like, college isn't for everybody. And yes, mom, I do. But I don't feel like I'm getting the whole story, but I can completely see how if my approach is perceived as negative, then I'm not going to get the whole story, because why would he bother sharing it with me?
Yeah. So what
I
can
think this is really, really difficult because he and I had always been like really super close.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know he's supposed to pull away from his mother. I get it. But the fact that he's not sharing this stuff with me anymore, just because I know something is going on, Sorry.
It's okay. You're supposed to feel this way. You've got 2 boys. I know this is coming. I know the love between a mother and their sons. It's like nothing else. This is normal. Okay. He's growing up. He's across the country. He's not communicating and he's not getting good grades. You are making it mean way more than it really is. Do you see that?
Yeah.
He's not sharing with me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like this huge story that you have there.
Yeah, you're right.
What is a better thought that you can have than he's wasting this amazing opportunity?
Well, I like the thought that I'm proud of him for going across the country, being brave enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do like that thought.
And specifically when you think about the circumstance of his current grades right now.
don't know.
What about this is an opportunity to figure things out, or this is an opportunity for us to see if this is the best fit for him, or this is an opportunity for me to get closer with him. Something like that. There's a small departure from what you are currently thinking. Like right now,
Okay.
you're just going to you're just jumping over all the other opportunities and like worst case scenarioing it.
Right.
If we got just back it up and to look at this current situation, this current time, we're in February, early February. He's still got 3 months, 4 months left.
Right. Yeah, I think 3.5, 4 months. Yeah.
And he's only 18 years old. He's got
Yeah.
so much life ahead of him. Really, like take a deep breath. It's okay. He's not wasting anything. He's just figuring things out. He's pushing his boundaries. He's enjoying not being under mom's wing all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is normal. A lot of kids do this, right?
Yeah.
My husband was horrible. He flunked out and he felt bad. He was out of state tuition. He felt
Yeah. Wow.
he was making his parents pay for that. So he decided to take a break and work and get in-state tuition. And then he put himself back after a semester or two. And now he's very successful. Like this is just part of the growth. Think about your own journey to trying something new right now. And there's failures going on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there are.
Try to mirror that, right? So like in the beginning, like you're learning, he's learning that you have to get up and go to class. There's consequences if you don't. Guess what? You have to get good grades or your parents don't pay for college. Like he's learning all of this stuff, right?
Right.
So try to compare his own journey to what you're working on right now. And that might make you feel a little bit more like, okay, we're both figuring things out. We're both learning how to be. We're both learning how to grow up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I that makes a lot of sense because I'm certainly not crying when I have an extra glass of wine. I'm just writing about it and learning from the experience. So okay, I can see the parallel there.
Okay. So what is a better thought that you can have is wasting an amazing opportunity? Because that's not what you're doing, right? When you overdrink, do you think I'm wasting this opportunity?
No.
I'm going to figure this out. Like I'm
Right.
going to get coached. I'm going to journal. I'm going to get back, right?
Yeah.
So how can you think about him and his journey right now in a similar fashion?
That he's it's so hard. That he oh gosh. I mean, I know he's learning so many new life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having to learn how to take care of himself and get himself to class, do his own laundry. He had to learn how to make new friends because here he had friends since kindergarten and never really had to make friends before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been very successful at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge growth and learning opportunity for him.
So much more than just his grades, right?
So much more than just his grades.
Just like this is so much more than just sticking to your drink plan. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So does that feel better for you when you think that this is a huge learning opportunity?
Yeah, it does.
Learning so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you don't have those conversations with them, right?
Right. But I don't, me getting frustrated and crying on the phone when I'm talking to him isn't going to help anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was really hoping that I would be able to get to talk to you today because I know that I need to just take a deep breath and let it out and just
So
have
when
it
you talk to him on the phone, what would it be to say like, listen, I know you're trying so many new things right now. It's hard, maybe it's not hard for you, but you've changed everything. You've had to make new friends. You've had to learn how to take care of yourself, do your own laundry, get up on time. get places consecutively and according to his schedule without anybody telling you what to do. And I know that's a lot, right? But part of being an adult is taking responsibility for self. And I love you and I want to continue supporting you in your dreams and going to college, but I can't do that. It doesn't make sense for me to financially do that if you're not doing the minimums of getting yourself to class and doing your homework.
I like how you changed that into doing what you're supposed, not how you changed it from doing what you're supposed to do to.
So it's like, it's what you are willing to do, right? This is like a really good lesson on boundaries for everybody. When you said you're trying to set a boundary with him, right?
Right.
So like, it's about what you will do if something else doesn't happen, not about, so you're not telling him, I'm only going to pay if you do this. It's like, I'm only willing to pay when these things happen, right? Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But then it's like, you continue, you can, don't go to class, but I'm not paying.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love you so much. And I'm here to support you. And please be honest with me. If you'd rather come home, we can do that. We'll bring you back, like be closer to home. Or if you want to continue partying and being with your friends and not waking up on time, let's just not have you go to class right now and you can get a job and you can support yourself. But that's not what I'm paying for.
You just voiced everything that has been in my head. And
And that will help him take responsibility. He's not going to want that, right?
Right.
Be like, so what that looks like for you is like, you would have to go get a job and you would have to pay does he live in a dorm?
Yeah.
So you'd have to move out of the dorm. You'd have to get an apartment. You'd have to work full time. Do you want to do that or do you want to go to college and learn? Right?
Yeah.
You can just be like, and I love you. So I'm here to support any decision you make. You just let me know. And so by the end of the semester, if we don't see your grades turn around, just know that that's going to be it for a while until you can show us that you're serious and you can get back on track.
Okay. Can you talk to him? No, I'm just kidding.
This is recorded, so I'll try to get it.
I'm just going to play that all. Here you go. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And you just say, and I love you. And I love you. And I'm here for you. But just know this isn't what I'm not paying for this, going forward. You've got to see that I want to make good on my investment.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
This is not cheap.
This is not coming back. This isn't helping you. I'm not helping you by just continuing to support you in this way. This isn't teaching you anything. And this is part of you learning how to do this on your own is learning how to do this on your own. And I'm not going to fund that just for you to have a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I got it. And I might be playing this for my husband later because he's going to need to hear it too. So.
Yes. Just
okay.
The moral here is those thoughts are not helping you, right?
Yeah.
They're certainly not going to help him when you're taking action and having these conversations from that negative energy.
Absolutely.
And if you want to love him no matter what, which I know you do, even if he chooses to quit, even if he doesn't want to go to class anymore, you're still going to love him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel better now.
Good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let us know how it goes.
I will. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys, that's it for today. Thank you to all that volunteered, post in the Facebook group, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Oh my gosh, wasn't that amazing? I love this work so much. I love the format of the group coaching program because we get to learn so quickly from each other and see our own issues in other people almost more clearly than we can see them ourselves. So the learning and the growth that you can have inside a small group format like this is amazing. If you want to join me, click on the link in the show notes. Follow the link through the podcast episode to my website and request that 20-minute consultation. You can also email me at angela@angelamascenik.com, and I hope to see you there. Also, we are starting our 5-day reset program. So for 5 days straight, starting on February 13th, Thursday, there's a pop-up group where I am doing some coaching. We're going to reset our drinking habits, and you can get some free opportunities to get coaching from me. And every day during that 5 days, I'm giving you a daily lesson that you can apply to your life to stop over drinking right away. This is the last opportunity to join. The link to join that group is also in the podcast notes. I hope to see you soon. Bye.